Before we move on with Radio Freedom, we need to meet some of the other players of this whole game on the planet.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Okay. Sanjar?
Well, new business turns up at last.
Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
No. You have a meeting with me.
Did you hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake.
Now, what business brings you here?
I'm looking for the information broker.
Out at Devil's Peak? If you're headed that far, I see you've brought the right woman for the job.
Damn right.
But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
It's Brad fucked Colin. Oh my God. Hey, it could always be both.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional, erotic, and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Did you need to mention erotic disappointments? What exactly are you hoping to accomplish?
Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
I don't... Dang it, Captain, that's not right. Folks on Monarch shouldn't have to suffer just because the board says so.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
All right. Sounds to me like you're freer than anyone else in Halcyon other than Groundbreaker, so why not embrace it?
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
So what do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
A lot of good that'll do. They'll just find another reason to turn tail and abandon you.
Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
All right, but how do you mean to do that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
All right, so this Bolt 52 sounds useful. What is it?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Where do I find one?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
All right, then I guess I'll go get that Bolt 52.
Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Okay, well, before I go, I need to ask you about something.
What can I do for you?
Well, I have questions about MSA in the good old days.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Okay, well, do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1.
Okay, what happened to the other corporations?
As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward-thinking of you.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Here, here. That may not be the way the colony works, but it damn well oughta.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
How do you know Parvati's last name? Do you also see people's speech dialogue when it shows up? Because there's no way you should know her last name. Using the board's own tools against them. That's clever.
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
You gave them the finger. Yet, here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules. And yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
And that's why I'm here. What exactly do you want back, or why exactly do you want back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding our homes.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community. And being cut off means slow strangulation.
Well, they've treated you pretty roughly. Is it even worth going back to that?
I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Leverage?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
What's the hazard clause?
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments by leaving a lot of people here to die slow.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
Well, I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments.
And they invoked it on Monarch.
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
You don't seem to think much of Graham.
He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board's pinned on us, it's them.
Maybe you should give them a chance.
A chance? They've been doing this for years. And well, let's just say I know enough about Graham to be confident that he won't change. It isn't just that they drain our people and resources. Every radical act they commit cements Halcyon's image of us all as destructive rebels and pushes us further from the rest of the colony. He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
Well, I want to talk about something else.
What can I do for you?
I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
No, that's it. Okay. Well, now we gotta go do this quest for him. It's a faction quest. Our first, I think, listed faction quest. Bolt with his name. Sanjar needs a Bolt 52 cartridge to defend Stellar Bay. He believes you can find one in the ruins north of town. Optional quest of wiping the data from the buildings.
What do you think of the unreliable Parvati?
There's always something to fix, and it's neat working in the Aether. I always took Atmo for granted. Now, if I drill through the hull, we all suffocate. Exciting, you know?
I'm not sure I wanted to know that. Being in space sets me on edge enough.
You know about stellar emissions? Actually, I probably shouldn't tell you about those. I mean, not unless you want to know how we're all likely to get spacers lung.
Right. Okay. When we get back to the ship, I'm drinking this conversation right out of my recollection.
Okay. I hate that it just marks the doors instead of marking the location. But that's fine.
Can we talk?
No, because you're going to talk to me about the main quest, and I'm not doing that right now.
Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of it stinking like fish instead.
You reckon the smell ever goes away? Maybe the wind off the sea helps.
All right, and we're going right over to here, right? Yeah, it's just right here. Oh, hey. Also, for some reason, I thought this was a science weapon. It's not. It's just a legendary weapon.
They'll never see us.
Oh. Okay. Think they're all dead? Well, all the ones over here.
Here we go.
That's the last of them! Okay, here we go!
Nice one.
Put the bottle down.
To shreds, you say? Nice hit.
Nice little Futurama reference there. Okay, this is the place. The arms building. Needs an arms building key. Or I can just pick it for the experience. Whoa, 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 it's Rizzo's. Just gotta try to remember where the key was. I feel like I can get up there. Just don't know how. So much garbage out here. If I can't remember how, then the key is probably inside. There's always other ways in. So yeah, I can't remember where the key is.
Careful. Only things you'll find in the ruins are liable to shoot you or eat you. Or both.
I wonder who used to live here. Do you suppose anyone remembers anymore?
Don't fall, Parvati. Oh, I gotta clean the town. Well, yeah, I gotta clean the town. It's for a different quest that I have to clean the town, but it's gonna force me to do that quest with this quest. So I might as well clear the town now. Okay. Corrosive damage received is an extra 25%, but I said I'm taking them all. Taking them all. Or as many as I can. Again, I think you max out at 5. A lot of blood here.
Out there. Wait, can rats wear boots?
What a snarl!
Get away!
I'm just messing with you. Who's in there?
Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Manta Queen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here and, now the door's locked. Little help?
You got locked in? How?
It's easier than it sounds, alright? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions.
Alright, well, I need to get in there.
Phew. Thanks, mister. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross.
Okay, we'll get into her questions when we do her quest. I don't want to double down on stuff. Shouldn't be looting on camera because that's boring. Let's go ahead and run downstairs, jump over this. This cannot be opened from the inside. Seeing if the key is inside. I don't see it anywhere in here. This is another one of those situations where it is a quest, but because we didn't get it from a quest giver, it's not going to be marked. So if you want to 100% all of the... There's the second Colossus. If If you want to 100% all of the Iconoclast quests, you can't come here until you're given the quest. Because, yeah, when we finish it, it won't give us credit. Oh, I thought I killed him.
Can we talk?
No, not yet. So yeah, over here on the body that the Colossus was chewing on is the building key. That's where the key was. See, I knew it was somewhere. I was like, isn't it on a corpse? It was on a corpse.
Phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die. Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind.
I mean, if I could, I'd say, yeah, Nyoka, give her a thing back home. You're okay to travel?
Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy, and hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend?
All right, normally when I help someone, they give me something.
What? I ain't got nothing on me. How's about a heaping helping of appreciation and respect?
Put in a good word with the Iconoclasts, and we'll call it even.
Can do.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot, mister.
So I'll remember to bring Ellie instead of Parvati here. There's our bolt. Yeah, it's like, did they not give her a jump animation? Okay. Monarch Stellar Industries, MSI, Arms. Welcome to the archives. Oh, archive. So Arms is archives, records, and miscellaneous storage. Okay. Let's view the executive reviews. Accessing. Executive review for Sanjar. Nandi. Sanjar has a bad habit of padding his reports with numbers and statistics. Not very good with slogans, jingles, and or taglines. Presentations tend to be dry and lacking in emotional appeal and funny references. Sanjar also displays a noted tendency to complete work rather than delegating it, a trend unbecoming in upper management. All in all, so Sanjay's a good worker is basically what they're saying. Sanjar's work habits suggest a preoccupation with details and a startling lack of vision. We cannot recommend him for further advancement. Needs improvement in the following areas: interpersonal communication, brevity, delegation, and idea generation. Okay. It didn't mark that as red, so Graham Bryant. Restricted. Let's go ahead and hack spoof login credentials. Graham's understanding of product managing and branding is impressive, especially for a relatively low-level editor. Has a knack for memorable slogans and taglines. However, Graham has issues with brevity and shows consistent disregard for prescribed fonts and formats. some of his work has been flagged for subversive undertones. Recommend further supervision. And finally, Dora Erickson. Dora shows a real knack for brief but compelling presentations supported by catchy slogans. Her delegation skills are also top-notch. She can build a lengthy meeting around any topic and emerge with plenty of work assigned. Recommended for promotion. Delete all. So he wants us to delete these, but if you want to get the best ending for Monarch, you can, or not Monarch. No, this is Monarch. If you want to get the best ending, you cannot delete them. So I'm not going to delete them. Instead, we're going to... Oh! Hi!
Don't mess with us.
Down they go!
I heard breathing, and I was like, wait, I killed them all. I guess I didn't. Instead, we're going to head back.
So the ship talks? Do all ships do that?
I can't say for certain, since I only ever been on this one. Ada's something special, though, ain't she?
Ada, what is it? She? It? I'm a bit fuzzy on the details.
Used to be, I thought she was a simulated intelligence. You know, a long series of commands telling her how to react to certain inputs.
You used to. What do you think now?
Well, I worked with a lot of machines, and ain't none of them like her. They can be pretty smart, but mostly they're rule books with a voice box. Ada's different.
One of life's mysteries, I suppose. I don't trust it. If it crashes us into a star, I'll be a mite upset.
Well, I see you've had a sobering effect on our friend Nyoka.
Sir, please stop.
Forgive me, Celia. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, what can I do for you?
I found your review on a terminal in the Arms building.
You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to delete it.
Sorry, it was already opened.
Oh, yes. No doubt someone else was having a laugh at my expense before you. This has been my albatross. The great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them.
Your left kidney?
One of the executives required a transplant. I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospects.
Did it?
Apparently not.
Who cares what they think? You're in charge now.
Yeah, in charge of a scrap heap of a city. Abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners.
Okay. And you've made it work. That's more than anyone else can say for those execs.
I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that. Thank you for that. Was there something else?
Yeah, here you go. Here's your Bolt 52.
Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less.
How exactly is a data cartridge going to help?
What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board.
That's telling you what it stands for. Bolt 52 is a bill of liquidation or transfer. Yes, finally, the board will get their comeuppance.
Sort of. really, we're just going to blackmail them into offering us a seat at the table.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea, it's definitely a firm middle finger.
And I support that. Oh, I can get behind that.
That's what I like to hear. I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Those bastards. Leave us to our perils, then come back just to reap what they can.
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board.
Sanjar, you sly dog.
You really think so? I admit I've been hatching this scheme for quite some time. I just needed someone capable to help me carry it out. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are.
Sounds like you know her well enough yourself.
That's part of the problem. She has certain ambitions for Stellar Bay, and I fear my asking her would give her the leverage she's been looking for.
Don't get yourself worked up, sir. It's perfectly natural to have a healthy fear of her.
We really don't need to discuss this now, Celia.
So, go to Fallbrook, get the location of an illegal corporation facility, then...
Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. Or someone working there. That would do it.
Infiltrate a secret corporation base and kidnap the staff. Got it.
A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution to you.
Can we talk?